Yo, 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 my dope people, what is good, man? Sending y'all mad positive energy, man. Sending y'all love, hope all is well. Before I get into this video, go ahead and take a deep breath with me. You already know to become presence, it is a gift, so it's just time to unwrap the gift. Always a good day, always a good day. First and foremost, this video is about, I wouldn't say necessarily relationships, but it does revolve around relationships, right? And first off, what I'm gonna touch on, if you don't know, like I got out of a long-term relationship last year, and I wanted to give, I wouldn't necessarily say feedback, but I wanted to really speak about what I could have done better, like just from the start, and not just from the start of the relationship, but just in its general, essence, and what I believe I did well in that relationship. And I'm also going to speak on men and what we really should be doing better. You feel me? Because I mean, let's be honest, like I am, I criticize, people regardless. I've definitely been criticizing women because there's been a lot going on with women, man. I mean, a lot of women are walking around here, with this whole I am the table mentality. And to be honest, that gotta stop. Now I'm gonna be honest. If you had that mentality, you're probably gonna be single forever. Now, nothing is wrong with that. First of all, if you want to be single, if you desire to be single for your life, I respect it. I get it. I understand that because not everyone wants to be in a relationship. A lot of women, a lot of men throw those terms at women as if they assume or know that that woman wants to be in a relationship when that's not always the case. A lot of times women don't want to be in a relationship. And maybe a lot of times they don't want to be in a relationship because the relationships that they were in, it was toxic. It was probably a karmic relationship to some extent. And a lot of us were in those type of relationships, whether you are conscious of it or not. And it's a case by case basis. I don't know everything, I don't claim to know everything, but this is just based off of my personal experience. So I want to share my personal experiences and hopefully hopefully you gain value from this type of video. And I did, put down some notes. So give me 1 second here. So first things first, man, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak on what I did wrong first, because I think it's important for me to always reflect on what I could have done better as, just as a man, as a person, or whatever it may be, right? Then I'm going to touch on what I believe I did right. And I'm gonna provide some context to it, okay? I know it's nuanced. I can't give you every single small detail, of the relationship, just because I'll be here too long and I would want to anyway. I mean, not nothing disingenuous. It's just it'll take too long. Another thing is I'm gonna touch on again what we need to do better at in my personal perspectives on certain things. All right. So with that being said, let's just get into it. First and foremost, what I did wrong in a relationship. Number one, in the beginning of our relationship, I wasn't honest. And what I mean when I mean by honesty is I wasn't one of the people that went around, lying, like saying, actually, let me just keep it a bean. When it comes to honesty, I wasn't honest about me cheating in my relationship, right? When we first started dating, or not first started dating, like we started dating, I want to say it was September of 2015. Now, to provide some context to that, I believe context is important. That's just me. But to provide some context to that, we started dating in September of 2015, and we made it official. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me rewind it back a little bit. We started dating, but we didn't make it official. We started dating prior to that, but we made it official in September. And I took that lead because I genuinely felt like I was ready for that, but I quickly realized that I wasn't ready for that. And part of that is due to the fact that I didn't properly take the time out to date this person, before I truly made that choice. She got pregnant, right? And I take responsibility for that, just like I'm sure she would. because it takes two people to make that decision. And again, we didn't properly date each other before we made that decision. So it was a lot of the decisions was made off of lust. And at this point in time, again, I'm not making any excuses. I'm just providing context. I was 26 years old, going on 27 when my daughter was born in 2016. So just to provide some context in regards to the age. Again, it's not an excuse. I feel like, I didn't make the best choices at that time. So that leads me to say I wasn't honest, because when we made it official in September, I cheated in 2016. It was like it was between like January and March timeframe, right? Now I know women now off top, I really didn't give their relationship too many legs to stand on at that point. So, I take responsibility for that as a man. I think that's just important to do as a man. I mean, I always talk about accountability and people taking accountability. So I personally take my accountability for that. I've been doing it, but I'm just now really deciding to speak on that, right? So yes, I wasn't honest in the beginning of the relationship. Also, I gave my mother too much freedom in regards to my relationship. Like at that time, I didn't really, there comes a point when you're in that tough part of relationship, and you're really, really working to make it work, or you're really you're doing what you can to make it work. And I didn't know exactly who to talk to in regards to my relationship issues and how to properly, go about certain things. So I would speak to my mom about it, and it really created a hindrance on our relationship because, my spouse at the time didn't feel like, she felt, I guess, kind of disrespected. I mean, that would be, her, whatever her opinion is on it, but I know it wasn't necessarily the right thing to do. My intention was good because I wasn't necessarily trying to, complain or go to my mother to make it seem like things were terrible. I just wanted from a woman's perspective how to handle certain situations, right? And to be honest, till this day, it's hard to find women that truly can give a man that answer. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it can't come from a woman. I don't know. You feel me? But all I'm saying is I gave my mother too much freedom in that area of life. And again, that's on me. You feel me? I wasn't in, which actually is a perfect segue to my third point of what I didn't do well, which is communication. I didn't properly know how to communicate, and really to reel it back a little bit, we didn't properly date because I was overseas a lot. If you don't know, I'm prior military, and I deployed to Kuwait in 2011 to 2012. And after that, I went back as a contractor, and I was doing a lot of back and forth with being as a contractor, right? And I was overseas a lot during us dating. So the physical time spent, you could see why the relationship failed from an overall perspective. Because, again, we didn't properly date. We didn't take the sufficient amount of time to get to know each other. And when I got home, she had her house and everything. I got back from contract and I had a bunch saved up, et cetera, et cetera. And so when I got back, we lived in Fayetteville. She already had her house, so, big ups to her at that point. And yeah, man, like that's kind of how that dynamic happened. You know what I'm saying? And when I got back, like I took control. When I mean take control, I mean that I took responsibility for like 70% of, the bills and things along those lines. But that's a different, I'll get to that in a minute. But I say all that to say communication was an issue for me because I spent a lot of time overseas. And again, this is not excuses or anything. This is just providing context onto, I believe, why I was this way. And I didn't communicate well. I didn't know how to properly communicate my feelings. I did not even, the concept of emotional intelligence was not even a thought, in my head, to be completely honest with you. And I didn't give myself the proper time to process information and process my experiences coming back overseas. I literally came back from overseas and went straight into the house, as the man of the house. And I never had that responsibility. Let me drink my coffee. Right now, I'm on a 3-day water fast. I mean, I could drink black coffee, so I drink it one. Like I usually drink tea, but there's a coffee that I am using that includes cordyceps, which is a family of mushrooms, which helps your brain cognitivity and things along those lines. So that's why I'm drinking it, or that's a part of why I'm drinking it. I usually drink tea. I'm not really a big coffee drinker, but it's the site is called Live Pure. So definitely check them out. I'm gonna put the description in the or I'm gonna put the site in the description, and I'm gonna link excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna link a friend of mine. He has a link, and you get like a certain discount. I'm not sure exactly how much, but you get a discount. But I'll link it in the description. All right. But with that being said, yes, communication was an issue for me, and I could have done a lot better in that area. To be completely honest, communication is important, and what I mean by communication, I mean speaking how you feel, knowing how to process those emotions, and really put context to those emotions, and give yourself the proper time to process those emotions. Now, there was things that she didn't necessarily do the best way, but again, I'm not here to really to talk about her part in it. You know what I'm saying? This is really me reflecting and making sure that I share the experiences and knowledge that I personally have gained from it. You know what I'm saying? So communication, and point number 4, which really I kind of alluded to already, was we moved too fast. You know what I'm saying? We really moved too fast. We made decisions based off of lust, because it's kind of like, let's be honest, man. You know how, and I'll speak directly to the fellas right now, right? Say we meet the woman, you know what I'm saying, and things hit off real well. You feel me? Like, and y'all like each other, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, you don't know if it's, you know what I'm saying, lust or something serious. You just, at that time, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So you have this time frame to where y'all know how it is, man. You talking to this chick, y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all texting back and forth. Some of it may be sexual. You like, man, this and the third. Y'all know how that go, and so when you get in that time frame, right, and you like after the first time, y'all kind of mess around, and after that, you're like, yo, I really like you, she kind of sharing the same energy, but it's too much energy at once, and that energy has to disperse so you can process that energy and really understand and make logical decisions based off of that, right? But if you don't let that energy just disperse, right, and expand, you're not, in my camera just started, reacting. So this is confirmation. If you don't let that energy disperse, you have to you're going to make decisions that just aren't really good for your future. You're making decisions based off of not all of the information that you can possibly have. 1313 on the timer as I say that. Okay. So all I'm saying is it's okay to be passionate, but passion burns quickly. So you have to know how to control and channel that passion. Okay. Passion is a really, really great energy to have. However, it's the cons to passion is, again, it burns quickly because it's a spark. Passion is a spark. It's fire. That is the divine essence. But it can burn quickly if you don't channel it correctly. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't control the flame. So you have to control the flame. You can't just go too hard in situations right off the rip without knowing all information. You feel me? So that is what I personally did not do right. Those are the 4 things that I could have done better. And I'm pretty sure there's little things, little nuances here and there. But and I'm gonna be honest. Let me see. And I'm gonna get into what I did right. It's a perfect segue of what I did right. Number 1, I am an amazing provider and protector. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, when I came back from overseas, I off rip took care of 70% of the bills. And I did 70% because I wasn't necessarily making the salary that I desired at the time, but I knew I was close. Because when I was overseas, I was making a good bit, and I was studying for my certifications. If you don't know, I used to work in cybersecurity. Let me take a sip of my coffee. I was working in cybersecurity, and and I was studying for certs over there. I had fun traveling, things along those lines, and but I was studying for my certs. And when I got back, I want to say I was making where did I work? What did I work at? I worked on base, man, over at we was in Fayetteville. So I was working, I want to say at like USASOC or something like that. And I was making like 91K. Like I was making a good bit, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't enough because I was able to realize in that moment, like 90K is good. It sounds great. But when you're aware of taxes, you know what I'm saying? And just things that you desire, it wasn't enough. So I took care of 70% of everything. And at that time, she wasn't, no knock to her now, you know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't really making that much. She was jumping between jobs to jobs. And she was also going to school for her bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? So I just say that I was a phenomenal provider and protector because, again, I was taking care of pretty much everything. She didn't have to worry about anything in the house. And even, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was paying for the car note at that time, too, for a certain amount of time. And then, again, she was going to school for her bachelor's degree. And that kind of put let me see. Supportive is another thing, right? This kind of leads me into the supportive thing because she wanted to get her bachelor's degree and go for bigger goals, right? Whether it was with or without me, I would support her. The reason being is because the way I move, and this is kind of contradicting to me in a way, because one thing I don't like is when women, they walk around and say, I am the table, and women don't need men and shit like that. I'm going to be honest. I cannot stand that shit because women as a whole do need men, just like men as a whole need women. Point blank, period. I'm not picking and choosing. I'm simply saying both have a lot to offer. And if we can coexist and be balanced, right, then obviously, like the type of reality we can create is literally, it's like euphoric. You feel me? So I don't like that mentality of, I am the table and shit like that because it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So I was really supportive. You know what I'm saying? The reason I say it's contradicting is because I want anyone around me to know that they don't necessarily need me. My whole point is to help you get to a point to where you don't need me at all. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's personal compared to society and the collective. You may not need me, but you'll need men. You know what I'm saying? This world wouldn't be built like it is without men. Now, granted, shit ain't perfect because men fuck some shit up too. We did. Like, let's keep that let's be very, very clear about that. We aren't perfect. We fuck shit up. But women aren't either. You feel me? So I just really think it's about balance. It's about respect. And men, I'm going to get to that in a second, y'all. Like, women, I know you like it's about respect. I get it. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Trust me, I'm going to get there. All right? Just be patient. But, again, provider and protector, I feel like I was an amazing provider and protector. I could have did better, protecting her emotionally. But, again, man, I didn't communicate well, and I didn't even know the concept of emotional intelligence like that. So I couldn't even protect her emotionally, even if I wanted to, because I couldn't do that for myself. Because again, when you think about it, right, if you don't know yourself emotionally, there's no way you can learn another person emotionally. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? That's why self-love is important. That's why reflection is important. You know what I'm saying? So you can gain wisdom from that reflection in order to make better decisions. So yes, I was a great provider and a protector. Not perfect, but I was. I was very supportive because I supported her by paying a bunch of other things. I supported by doing what I needed to do while she got her bachelor's degree. Obviously, I was there for my daughter, and her son. And I don't necessarily know if I should. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know it could be looked at either way in regards to getting credit for being there as a father. Like, yes, it's our position. It's our duty. But I hate to say this. Is it mandatory? Probably not. Probably not. But I get why people would disagree because to an extent, I disagree. And I can't ever see myself not being there for my child. So it's really, really not. It's really difficult for me to say that. But I'm just saying that there is another perspective to it. to it, even though I don't agree with it at all. You know what I'm saying? All right, now, number 2. This has a small asterisk to it. I was faithful. Now, I say that because, again, after I cheated early in 2016, I was faithful after that. Period. Like, I didn't go mess with no other woman. Now, I had opportunities to. And when I mean I had opportunities to, I mean that, you know, you go out to a bar, you know, there's a woman that, you know, people buying drinks. There's women, at times, women will buy you a drink. They interested out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like things along those lines. You feel me? And I had those opportunities, but I didn't. And I had plenty of them. I'm not saying that to be cocky, arrogant, or anything. I'm just keeping it all the way 100 with you. I'm going to keep it 100 on this channel no matter what, no matter how it sounds. So I was faithful because, again, like, and it was difficult for me personally. Like, it was very difficult for me to be faithful to an extent. And I know women will be like, why is it faithful? Why is it difficult if you love your woman, this, and the third? It's difficult because biologically we are made differently. Like, that's just the honest truth. Again, these aren't excuses or anything. It's just like when women say, you know, men can't understand women to an extent because we are literally chemically, biologically made different. Well, it's vice versa too. It's the same thing. So I don't really expect you all to understand that. However, it was difficult at first. It got easier because I had to hold myself accountable. And I told myself after I cheated that time, I was like, look, I can't, if I want to be the man that I desire to be, this is the decision I got to make. And I got to hold myself to that. That's an internal conversation that I had with myself. And it was not easy. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So I was faithful. And I can understand people disagreeing because at the end of the day, I did cheat in the beginning of the relationship. So if you disagree with that, I understand, right? I understand. I respect your decision, even though I do disagree because ultimately I had to make those changes. There's a lot of dudes out here, no shade, but there's a lot of dudes out here who aren't willing to make those changes. But I did, so it counts for something, in my personal opinion. All right. Number 3. I was very genuine with everything, man. Like when I decided to date her, when I decided to make it official and things along those lines, I was genuine. Again, the genuine mistake came from us not taking the correct time out and making decisions based off of passion that burned quickly. You know what I'm saying? So that was, it all stems and goes back to that. But I was very genuine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to hurt her. I didn't go with any ill intentions to hurt her. Even though she might think otherwise because women may not understand that. She may not understand that. You know, but again, that's just the honest truth of it. You know what I'm saying? I was genuine when I took those steps because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have been paying for 70% of everything. Now, also another thing, this is an important piece too that I want to speak about. I should have brought this up in the provider protector section, right? When she got her bachelor's degree, we wanted to relocate to a new place, right? Now, what I did was, now at the time, I would say we, all right? Because when you're with your significant other, it is important to include your significant other in that, period. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't saying I built the house. And now I say it because I really did build the house and we not together. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, you know, I put in all of the money. Like I didn't receive a dime from her in regards to that. I'm not saying she did it intentionally or it was a negative intent to it. I'm just saying that these are the facts, right? I had to take my own money on top of paying for everything else in the household. And I built us a house from scratch. And I mean, this was a brand new neighborhood. Most of the houses weren't built. We got a very, very nice lot. Now, I'm not saying it to say that, you know, everything is about who has the bigger house and who has the bigger lot and all of that. That's not the intent. But let's just be honest. When we are putting in our work and passion towards these goals that we desire, you are doing it because you want something better than what you have currently. That is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, our lot, man, this lot is 0.42 acres, right? It has a big yard. There's no neighbors behind us. It's a river behind us, so there's plenty of nature. There's trails. Like we literally live right beside a trail. I mean, less than 50 feet away is a trail. You know what I'm saying? And that trail leads to a bunch of different trails. You feel me? So, and we have another trail attached to a cul-de-sac, like it's literally right down. I wish I could, just turn the camera and show y'all. You feel me? So I say all that to say that when I purchased this house, it was for a reason, because there was a lot of tangibles that came with this house. It was the lot size. It was the yard. It was everything that I just mentioned. It was the fact that we're still in Raleigh, even though we're technically not in Raleigh, but it's a mile from the Raleigh border. So, you get the best of both worlds. You get the benefits of being and living in Raleigh, but you don't pay Raleigh taxes. You feel me? And I live off the most busiest road of our town. And that's because everything is on that road. Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Good, which is now Athletes or the athletic shop. I forgot what it's called. But nonetheless, it was Dick's Sporting Goods, Best Buy. You got Starbucks. You got local coffee shops. You got Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, Home Depot, Lowe's. I mean, everything, you name it, we have it on that road. And it's literally about a mile and a half away. And from the main interstate to get to everywhere else in Raleigh, we're a mile away. Not to mention my daughter's school is right outside the neighborhood. It takes us longer. It literally takes me longer to get outside the neighborhood than it does to get my daughter to school once I get outside the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of tangibles and benefits to this place that not only I chose, but cultivated. You feel me? So that's another thing, is I cultivated this family in a lot of different ways. Maybe not emotionally, because again, I didn't know emotional intelligence, but as a man and what my strength was, I definitely channeled the shit out of that freaking energy, and I made the best out of it. So yes, I was very genuine, and I wanted to up the standard, man. The only person that really increased the standard to a level I haven't really reached that is probably Steven. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Steven. That's my fucking dog. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. There's men that out here that I respect. You know what I'm saying? And I really look up to, to a degree, man. And Steven is one of them, man. He does his thing out here, man. He's in the real estate. So shout out, to him, man. Shout out to the king. And last thing, I said I was extremely supportive. So I guess that goes into the same. I mentioned that when I was talking about providing and protecting. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things I genuinely believe I did correctly. You know what I'm saying? Again, I wasn't perfect, but I definitely was very intentional, and I was very genuine. You feel me? And I feel like it's just important to reflect on that and really speak about these things, man, because, I talk about women and the issues that I have with the current culture of women, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just important as a man that I take accountability for what I didn't do in the best of ways in our relationship, and how I can learn from that going forward and creating, elevating myself. You know what I'm saying? So at the moment, I'm definitely not looking for a relationship. I'm still healing. And to make it clear, we're always healing, but we get to a point to where we're healed enough to where we believe we're ready for a relationship. I'm not at that point yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at that point yet. So with that being said, men, I'm gonna talk about what we need to do better. Just straight up. Number one, honesty is very important. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been doing, and I'm proud of myself with, is honesty. And I've never been the type to be super dishonest. What I mean super dishonest, like, let's be honest. There's men out here who be like getting out of relationships and they be lying. They don't got no car. They don't got their own place, and just a bunch of other shit. And they just be lying, like blatantly, intentionally lying. And then the woman finds out after the fact. And then next thing you know, You know what I'm saying? Like, she in the whole situation and she don't really know what to do or how to react to that. And she's probably an emotional wreck at that point. So men, like, we got to do better with that. Like, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that, especially in the new age that's coming up, man. Like, Pluto is out here heavy. Pluto energy is out here heavy. So you got to keep it real with yourself, but you got to keep it real with other people too, man. Like, you cannot be out here, just lying to women. Look, by the way, this goes regardless, you know what I'm saying? If you into women, men, or whatever, you feel me? Like, so no, there is no, I don't, how can I say this? I'm personally only into women. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hold nothing against no one. You feel me? Or anything like that. But men, we just need to do better. When you are communicating with a woman or whoever it may be that you're interested in, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to be honest with them. That is number one. All right. Number two, I personally feel like this whole word of submission, that needs to be thrown out the window. Like, I feel like that has gotten us nowhere because women hold a lot of value in what they add to us, and not even in just relationships and partnerships and relationships and conversations, because even though we may not necessarily agree all the time, we can respect a perspective that they come from and use that as wisdom. Women are extremely intellectual. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they hold a lot of value. They do. So we have to respect their value and stop thinking that they're just going to submit. And again, it shouldn't even be submission. Women and men should be side by side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be side by side. When you think about chess, it's the same energy, but it's a different way of expressing an energy. The queen is the most powerful powerful piece on the chessboard because the queen can move any direction at any amount of spaces. But if the queen gets captured, the game still goes on but the game ends when the king gets captured. You feel me? So it's just, you can look at it from two different perspectives. Who's more powerful? But the real perspective to look at it is both are more powerful when they are on the board at the same time. That is the perspective that needs to be looked at, period. It's not who's more powerful. That needs to stop. It needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm even guilty to that at some point. But sometimes it's because how society is just trying to belittle and get rid of the not necessarily the power of man, but how important the man is to society. So that needs to stop. But really, just back to the men, we got to do better. We got to be more honest. We got to stop you really using this word submissive, because I'm kind of just over that word. I don't even necessarily want or desire or need my woman to submit to me. I want my woman to be powerful alongside of me, and we create legacy. That's what it's about to me. It's about legacy, period. You know what I'm saying? So we need women to create legacy, and women need us to create legacy, period. And that's just where I'm in that part at. All right. Number three, body count. To a degree, I can understand, but body count really shouldn't fucking matter at this point. Now, I'm not saying, I know this is against the popular opinion for men. All I'm saying is when I'm dating a woman, or when I'm getting to know a woman, I'm not in the back of my mind thinking, what is her body count? I really don't give a fuck. I really don't. Women love to have sex just as much as men do. So I genuinely don't give a shit about the body count. I'm not saying I want my woman to have 100 on her resume. I'm not saying that. You feel me? But I'm saying I'm not necessarily checking for it either. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't judge anyone, period. But to use your own judgment, I can't use my own judgment on that woman based off her body count. She could be an amazing woman and have, a certain amount under her belt. Who knows? But that might be in a different part of her life. It's all subjective, and it's all like, there's nuance to that shit. You feel me? So body count, this whole body count thing, I understand the conversation of it, but sometimes, us men, we do the most with that. And I feel like it's based off of pride. It's really, really based off of pride. And we need to set that aside, to a certain degree when it comes to body count. All right. 4, relationship. Like, I say we don't need to be in relationships for no reason. And I think this is really for men and women. All right. When it comes to being in a relationship, love is just not enough to be in a relationship. That's just how I feel about it. It's not enough. There has to be a reason you want to be in a relationship. What do you want to build something? You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm about legacy. So legacy and having a vision of what to create for our future generations at such a high level is what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a bunch of things in between that. I'll have my own personal desires. You feel me? I don't care what nobody say. People make it seem like you're a bad person or something when you want the biggest shit. Well, I guess I'm gonna just be a bad person then, because I love, the beautiful, nice things. You know what I'm saying? I desire to have a fucking Lamborghini or a GTR. I desire to have the big garage. I desire to have the mansions and the fucking wealth. That's what I desire. You know what I'm saying? But I'm putting myself in that energy, and it's not for nothing. I want to do this so I can build shit. Not because I don't want to be wealthy just so I can have the fucking cars and all of that. I want to be wealthy because I have big goals. I want to create a whole new school curriculum. I want to create things that allow kids to really change their lives at such an early age that it's almost unfathomable. That's what I'm trying to create, period. You know what I'm saying? So the wealth is not just about the material things. It's spiritual to me. I'm a very spiritual person. This is a spiritual purpose for me, period. You know what I'm saying? So relationships can't be for no reason. There has to be a higher octave in regards to why you desire a relationship. And it has to be with the right person. Hence, why you have to take time to get to know this person. And it's not going to be in a couple months. You feel me? It takes time. It takes time to cultivate that. And relationships have to be complementary, right? They have to be complementary to the individual. What I mean by that is you have to spend time with yourself so you understand yourself. You understand how you are in your most default energy and your most authentic energy and mode. Because when you do that and you decide to share your time with a person, it doesn't feel like you're changing. That's where I'm getting at. That's why I spend so much time alone. I spend a lot of time alone because I need to know myself at such the precise level that whoever I'm with, whatever woman I am with, I know for a fact it's the right woman, and you will just know. You know what I'm saying? So spend time with yourself. And again, men, we have to do better, man. We have to be honest. We have to, we have to lead better. And really the honest part is we have, up until this point, we haven't taken care of we haven't done the best job we can do. But the change has already started. You're either on the right side of the track or you're not. You can't float in between. All right. You can't float in between. You know what to do, man. Like, don't be scared of the journey. Don't be scared of the journey. The journey is not a scary thing. It's uncomfortable, but it's not scary. But uncomfort is just a sign of you expanding. If you're not expanding, you're just dying slowly. So thank the expansion. Honestly, thank it. You feel me? So I hope you all get that. I really hope my men get that. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to make this video because it's important, because I do harp on my women a lot right now, because let's be honest, women right now, y'all on some other shit. Like, y'all are in your masculine energy and you don't even know it. And y'all got to do better with that. You know what I'm saying? You all got to heal. But men, in the process of women healing, from these heartbreaks and these different, certain situations that they went through, what are you doing? Right? You have to ask yourself. Nothing is wrong. Listen, I'm a gamer. Like, I love playing my video games, but make no mistake, I have purpose too. Right? So it's important that it's about balance. What are you doing while women are healing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Are you standing in your purpose? Are you getting better every day? Are you studying different subjects? Are you getting uncomfortable to an extent so you can grow and expand into different areas and just really get to the things you desire? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what I'm doing, and I'm standing in that shit. You feel me? So I really just wanted to make this video, man, to hopefully provide insight, provide value, and just even a sense of enlightenment on what these things are about, you know what I'm saying? And really some wisdom, because, you know, I had to grow throughout the years, you know what I'm saying? And it was not always comfortable. You feel me? It wasn't always comfortable, but I accepted it though. Again, I sometimes, man, I'm like, right now I'm working on writing a book and I'm going to talk about some of these things in my book. But at such a young age, I was taking risk. And it was not the risk like, you know, the risk they make it seem like in the movie, you know, to where it could be like a big deal. It wasn't like that, but it was risk. You know what I'm saying? To where I felt it in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, man, when it comes to me taking this risk, I'm nervous as shit. And I'm going to talk about it in my book. You feel me? But risks are necessary for growth, because I say all of that to say it may be uncomfortable for me to go forward in certain situations, but if I know that it's the right thing for me to do, no matter how I feel, I'm going to do it. Let me make that clear. All right, I'm going to fucking do it. Period. As long as I'm going forward. Sometimes I take the 2 steps back, but the 2 steps back doesn't mean I'm going backwards. The 2 steps back is meant for me to reflect on the decisions I made and what no longer resonates with me, which is wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And when I go forward, I know more. It's philosophy. Philo, right? This comes from Greek. Philo is love. That's like literally the definition of philo is love in Greek. And Sophia, which is where philosophy comes from, is wisdom. So philosophy is the love of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all with that. I love y'all. Sending y'all positive vibes, showing y'all mad love, man. I hope all is well. Drink your water. Health is wealth. I am currently on right now, where am I at on my fast? And I'm not going to lie, man. I was struggling last night. I was like, bro, I want to eat so bad that I didn't. Right now, I'm currently at 19 hours and 37 minutes. And this is into a 72-hour fast. So I'm looking to finish this fast and close this out. And the reason I want to do the 3-day fast is because your cells regenerate after 3 days, and you basically reset yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and you just make better decisions, and you're way more clear-minded, and you really don't miss on your intuition. So I plan on implementing a 3-day fast probably every 3 to 4 months. And I do intermittent fasting every day. I do 8 hours on, 16 off. So after 6 p.m., I'm kind of floating in between if it should be 6 to 10 a.m. or 7 to 11. Because sometimes 6 is a little bit too early. So I'm thinking about changing it from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. since it's a little bit more balanced for me. But again, with that being said, man, health is wealth. Drink your water. You know, we're manifesting. The quality in which you manifest is literally based off of your health. So take care of your health and stay on top of your fitness. I love y'all. Happy Monday. New goals, new opportunities. And y'all already know, man, we good. This is your man, David G. You already know the slogan. It's gang and we out. Salute.